Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of Beautifully Nerding. I am Auntie Bri, and today we are continuing forward on our path to be able to watch Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. So today I was looking for something to watch because I really do want to either watch Menace to Society or Boys in the Hood. The apps that I currently have will not allow me to be great. So I went on Netflix and I was just like, what do y'all have on here? I looked in the Black History Month section and just kind of scrolled around for a little bit to see what movies were actually already available on there. And that is when I got to She's Gotta Have It. Now, I do remember that there had been a remake that recently came out. When did it come out? I don't know. That's not the movie I'm talking about right now. And so I was like, I've heard of the original, but I don't think that She's Gotta Have It was one of those movies that was in the zeitgeist of I can't believe you haven't seen that movie yet. But I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and watch this too, because any movie is an added addition to the greater purpose that we are trying to achieve. So this week I watched 1986's She's Gotta Have It by Spike Lee, and to say it was a wild ride would be an understatement. So the log line for She's Gotta Have It is: fiercely independent Brooklyn artist Nola Darling tries to remain true to herself while hooking up with three wildly different men. Now, on its face, that's a pretty interesting premise, because it's like, you know, that's what dating is. You know, it's having different people, seeing what you like, seeing what you don't like, seeing what personalities you mesh with, figuring out who you are, figuring out who other people are, figuring out how you interact with others. I say this as someone who has not really dated that much, but that's what I think it should be. So I was interested in this premise of like, wow, you know, fiercely independent sounds like me, is out and about living her life, sounds like what I want to do. This might be right up my alley. So I turn it on. Before I even press play on the movie, I see that it is in black and white. Why? I don't know. This entire movie is giving Spike Lee is an artiste, and this is his artistic expression. Because there's a lot of shots where I'm like, so why exactly did we choose this angle? There's a lot of shots where it's like, oh, we're just lingering right here. I am uncomfy, Spike. The movie itself is a documentary style where there's you have the actual scenes of the character interaction, but then you also have character interviews where we get, Nola Darling, Jamie, whatever his last name is, which definitely had me confused from the jump because I didn't exactly know what kind of movie I was getting myself into here, but the black and white threw me off for the absolute most. Our main character, Nola, like the logline says, she's very independent. You know, she does her own thing. She gives very crystal charging, woo-woo, free spirit artist, and I love that for her. That personality type can be a bit much, seeing as she has the guys eating out of her hand. I guess it's not that much. And so our three main players that she is dating are Jamie, Mars, and Greer. So Jamie is the type of the sweet guy, will bend over backwards to be there for you. Really corny, but means well. Just the all-around guy that would say he's the type of guy that women say that they want. But I don't know, something about his character, it hit the ear the wrong way immediately. And I was like, I don't like it. Mars is played by Spike Lee. Mars is the typical B-boy New York vibe. In his character introduction, he was he got with Nola because he knew that she was a freak, but that doesn't mean she's the Marion type. And then lastly is Greer, who is a pretentious snob. He's very bougie. He lets you know how much money he has. He's so far up his own butt. The way that he talks to Nola, because he's like, I only date the finest women. So many other women would kill to be in your place right now. Whoop, 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 this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, okay, well, go get with one of them. Every time he spoke to her, I was like, baby girl, stand up. Like, you don't have to deal with this. And she was just like, oh, you know, that's just how he is. Okay, pretty much everyone is being interviewed for this documentary to try to... Actually, now that I think about it, I don't quite know what the purpose of the actual documentary was. I just know at the end, Nola was like, since everyone thinks they know me. And I was like, yeah, no. The entire movie gave the vibe of everyone else wants Nola to do what they want her to do instead of just listening to what it is that Nola wants to do. Like Nola had said from the jump, never strayed, never lied, never deceived nobody. She was like, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. I'm open. I'm honest. Yes, I'm dating other people. You are not the only person I'm seeing. I will say she did get real bold to where she'd be in bed with one dude and another dude would call and she was like, oh, hey. And I'm just like, that's really rude. Like you could have just not answered the phone. Pretty much the entire movie is just everyone giving everyone else way too many chances. Like Nola gave all of them dudes way too many chances and the dudes gave Nola way too many chances. We have joined the story at a point where the guys are all starting to feel a type of way that they are not the only person that Nola is seeing. And they're pretty much saying that like, you need to cut those other ones off because I'm the best person for you.
Well, are your two hoodlum friends veggies?
I don't know any hoodlums.
Oh, come on. Jamie and that lunatic Mars, you know, he doesn't even tie his sneakers.
They're neither hoodlums nor lunatics, so leave them alone, okay?
Nola, will you forget about them? Honey, you and I can really do a lot in this world. For the love of God, I don't even see what you see in those two. I'm everything that you need.
But they're all just telling her like, oh, you need to get rid of those others. You need to just be with me. Like, I'm the best one for you. Boop, boop, boop. We could see some of the reasons that Nola liked these guys. But in watching the movie, I didn't necessarily see why it was that the guys liked Nola this much. Now, granted, I'm sure that most of it was physical. Like, they liked how she looked, having adult activities with her. But like, for y'all to be this down bad and fighting this hard over this girl, I as the audience should be able to be like, oh yeah, she's an awesome person. I can completely see why you would want her to leave all the others and just come kick it with you. She was cool. I didn't get anything from Nola that made me be able to fight for her. Like, granted, like, I'ma support black women regardless, but I need you to help me in my pursuit. I think the concept of this movie in general is very interesting because usually it is the man who is going out, dating multiple people, you know, living his best life, you know, being young and exploring and doing what young men are supposed to do, seeing what the world has to offer. And it's usually the women who are like, I don't like that you were out here with other women. I should be your only person. Now, granted, sometimes there can be a few lines of deceit, but I've known people who have been fully upfront and honest with people that they are dating, and the women who they are involved with are like, I don't want you to date anyone else. I want you to only date me. And when that person is like, I'm not ready to just be with one person, the other woman is like, well, bye. Which is justifiable. Everyone is justified in that circumstance. Like, as long as you're being open and honest with people, I don't necessarily think that there is an issue with that. But then also, others are allowed to not want to share you and share their space and kind of share themselves with all these other people. What was really interesting to me is that no one ever really tells men that they need to stop doing that. Like, maybe if they get to like a certain point and they're still like, they still haven't settled down, like maybe some folks will be like, oh, you know, you need to find you a wife, this, that, and the third. But like, everybody in Nola's life as a young woman was like, you need to find you one man and settle down. You don't need to be out here with this You don't need to be out here with all these different men. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Like, people were really calling her out of her name. Everything but a child of God. Telling her she needs to go to a therapist. Like, you need to go talk to the lady because you're an addict and there's something wrong with you.
Nola, I care. Now, you need professional help. A nice lady doesn't go humping from bed to bed. Will you please go see a doctor?
Can you be quiet for a minute?
There's something wrong with me for wanting to date different people and see what it is that I want. I was for real like, okay, they tripping with all this because no one has anything to say when the shoe was on the other foot. But now that a young woman is living her best life, dating different men, being very open and honest with everyone, now it's an issue. I just think that this movie is a very interesting commentary on that stereotype because I love exploring double standards. Like, double standards are so interesting to me. Spike was like, let me tell the story from a different perspective. And that aspect of the movie I really enjoyed. I will say some of the artistic expression that Spike took throughout the movie kind of took me out of it a lot. So like I said, the movie is in black and white. There is one scene that is in color. It gave very much Wizard of Oz. I fully thought it was a dream sequence, but it actually happened. It was just interesting because like the whole scene, Jamie had a picnic for Nola and had dancers come and dance for her. And it was, I guess, like symbolic of their relationship. I don't know, like the dance gave really toxic love and y'all should probably split ways from one another. Which is how I felt about everybody who was dating Nola. Like, I don't think any of y'all are good for anyone. So we should just end all of this. But then it goes back to black and white. And Nola's like, oh yeah, so how much did that cost you? Like, you didn't have to spend that much. Let me pay you half. Girl, it's a gift. Shut up. You making it hot. And then once all of the guys are like, hey, I don't like how this makes me feel. I think you should just date me. And Nola's like, no, thank you. And they're like, okay, well, I'm out. And then Nola starts having like anxiety dreams about the three guys all have like girlfriends and come to her apartment and like burn the whole thing down. And I'm just like, because when it happened, I was like, this is so random. Where'd this come from? I'm really bad about spotting dream sequences. Like, the ones I think of dream sequences never are. I can never catch when a dream sequence starts. I'm really bad about it. But the girlfriends and the fire, that was a dream. And it's just like, girl, that guilty conscience is eating you up. Like, you know you're doing too much. And so when her favorite, Jamie, finally decides that he's like, you know what, I've had it. Like, you do what you do. I actually started seeing somebody else. I'm gonna give you an ultimatum. Either it's me or it's not. And she's like, I can't do that. So he goes to start seeing the new girl. And then of course Nola is like, oh, well, you know, come over. I need you, da da da. And I'm just like, no, you don't. Why? Stand up. And so Jamie, of course, because he's absolutely in love with her, is like, if you mess up one more time, which already is giving controlling bastard, like the whole time. Like, that's what I didn't like about Jamie, is that he just seems so controlling. And of course we get like a little post interview with Nola, and she's like, yeah, the celibacy didn't last that long, and Jamie and I will, and I'm just like, I'm very glad that everyone's separated from each other, because all of this just wasn't going to work. Like, Nola needs some time to herself, and all of the guys need to go find somebody else, because Nola is not it. Granted, all of y'all need some self-work, but none of y'all need to be together ever again. So yeah, that is 1986's She's Gotta Have It by Spike Lee. Let me know if you've seen the movie. How did you feel about it? There were definitely some artistic lingering shots that I did not talk about. I don't think YouTube would like if I said what was happening in some of those shots. just believe me when I say this movie is a wild ride. But yeah, that'll be it for me. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and until next time, bye.